Stream marker. Boy, you people on YouTube. Yeah, I said you people. You have no idea the lengths. The lengths! The lengths and girths we've gone through to get this stream up and running. I tell you what. I tell you what. I'm just assuming the game is going to load. That's what's next is going to break. We're in the game, but we're not in the game until we're in the game. Hello, this is a Farlands or Bust stream for August 16th, 2022, allegedly. I had an interesting day yesterday with this dog. Look at this dog. So in case you're worried about any stories about going to the vet, she's fine. She's the same old bumpus she always was. But yeah, let's get into it. And then we have more stuff to talk about how our stupid computer is stupid. Are you ready? Do you got your woofs ready? Appropriately? Appropriate woofs? Woof! There it is. Ooh! Instant grass. And we killed it. Let's get out of the hidey hole. Last couple times there have been some creepers hanging around as we left the hidey hole, but I think we're safe. Famous last words. Let's grab Wolfie. And carry on west. Towards those far lands here in Minecraft Beta 173. Boy, I never wear white t-shirts. And, I think there's a reason. My complexion does not do any favors to a white bright t-shirt. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'll fire my wardrobe person. It's me. Hello. Hi. How are you? It's been a while since we've done a Farlands stream. Did an episode. Prior to this. I don't remember what we talked about. But yeah. Solution is only to ever wear black. Well, the problem is when it's hot outside. Black doth absorbeth the heat. The sun's rays. So yeah, I was outside and just watered the garden. Which is finally producing. The girlfriend got some poop dirt. Is all that I can call it. And now the plants have nutritions. We got beans. We got some tomatoes, although the tomato plants are not their gigantic rhinoceros-sized monstrosities. Rhinoceros monstrosities. That they were in previous years. We think that's what happened. The tomatoes were so outrageous for the first 2 years that they sucked the dirt dry of all the nutrition. So this year nothing was growing until we added the fertilizer a little bit late in the game here. So yeah, did that and did not walk Juno. Haven't walked Juno since Sunday. I mean, I didn't even walk her on Sunday. But yeah, Sunday. I wake up and she's got a limp. Got a pretty bad limp. To the point where she's just hopping on one leg. Just randomly out of nowhere. I'm like, that's weird. Come to like figure out what the heck's going on, and one of her toes is causing her pain. She, she yelps when I touch it or try to look at it. So I got the girlfriend's help, and the girlfriend thought she saw... Yeah, she was hopping on just one leg. Very talented. But, yeah, we went, the girlfriend took a look at it. Speaking of dogs, she has experience with dogs. And saw like a crack in the nail pretty high up, which is a common injury for dogs. Get a crack or broken off or something of the nail. So that was annoying. So we soaked her foot and washed it and put it on ice for as long as she allowed us to try to do that. But this was Sunday, so yesterday she recommended I go to the vet. A simple task, except that I don't have a vet here where we live. Over when I moved in with the girlfriend, a funny thing happened in 2020. And I haven't been able to find a vet in the area that's taking new clients. I mean, this I haven't tried recently, but much like trying to find a mental health professional, it seems that veterinarians are in high demand and or are losing staff and things like that and availability. So my vet, or Juno's vet rather, is an hour and a half away. But I wasn't about to like try to find a brand new vet for like this new issue. So I called them and they said, well, we're booked up for the next week. But let me talk to the doctors and maybe they'll accept a drop off, and then we'll get to her when we can get to her today. This was yesterday morning. And then they call me back at like 9:30 and they're like, yeah, if you can get her in by 10:30. I'm like, well, thank you, but I'm all the way over here, so I'm gonna need like 90 minutes to get there. So I had to like drop everything because I like they said they were booked a week out. I had almost given up hope and was like, to drop everything, load up Juno, drive through Seattle, clean to the other side, dropped her off, and then I wasn't going to drive back, obviously, so I just hung around in the old neighborhood, went to the beach, finished my coffee that I hastily put in a thermos, and then it was like getting to be about like 12:30. I'm like, well, I guess I should get like lunch while I'm waiting, and I'll have lunch. So I order lunch for takeout at this cafe that I used to go to. And then as I'm about to pick up the lunch, the vet calls. And is essentially like, well, I can't find anything wrong. I mean, like, she found like, oh, she definitely, this toe is painful for her. Doesn't look like a severe break. There's a little bit of like a crack on her nail. It wasn't like bleeding or nothing or anything like that. It was just kind of like swollen. We could just give her something for the pain, unless you want us to do an x-ray. But I don't think that's necessary. I'm like, well, whatever you think. But then I talked to the girlfriend, she's like, why don't you get them to give you, like, antibiotics, just in case? Because if it is broken, or it breaks off or something, and it exposes the toe... what is that called? The nail bed or whatever. That could get infected and that could end up being serious, so I called back and asked about antibiotics, and then, oh no, all the doctors are on lunch for an hour. So if you can wait another hour. Dang it, so I had to hang out, and then I ate my, what is now lukewarm lunch, and it was just a day. It was a long day. Finally was able... Kurt, you got a dog. Today's a long day, too. Today's a pretty long day. Was that an audible? Was that an audible facepalm? So yeah, anyway, I ate my lunch and stalled as much as I could, and then finally went and picked up Juno, and I didn't end up getting the x-rays, thankfully, because that would have tripled already how much I paid to us. And then I had to like drive home, which took like an hour and 45 minutes through Seattle. So I drove over 3 hours basically to get told she can walk it off. Essentially. I mean, we got like painkillers and she's like not limping, I'm assuming, because of the painkillers and the anti-inflammatory. We haven't used any of the antibiotics because it doesn't appear to be infected or anything like that, but we have them just in case. So yeah, that was my whole day yesterday. My whole day. Yeah, that's like frustrating. So yeah, then also like I haven't been going on walks. So like this morning I woke up when like the girlfriend woke up at like 5 a.m. and I couldn't fall back asleep. So I woke up and got that Wreckfest for Breakfast video out. And then I fell back asleep for like an hour, which is not enough. Speaking of sleep. And now I'm like in this weird haze and funk. maybe I should just take myself on a walk. Maybe that's what I should do. That's east. So yeah, taking a bit of a break from the walks for a little bit. Keep an eye on that dog finger. That dog finger. I don't know how it happened either.
I don't know what to say.
Hummus Fraud, do you
touched.
know?
You're both touched.
Kurt sub.
Thank you for 72 months in the sub-tub, Hummus Frauds. Sub-tub! Yeah. And wasn't I just spending, like, time talking about how, like, I feel like Juno's getting old? Like, should I be feeding her senior food? And then this goes and happens. So yeah, I don't know. It was a while ago, like a week ago, I accidentally like stepped on her paw because she's a real noodle, and much like Wolfie here, she'll walk up right behind me and like in my blind spot, and I don't know she's there, and I'll just step back or something like that, and she'll go geek, you know. But she was fine for a while. I don't know if that's what did it, or she just took a jump weird, or got her toe stuck on a carpet or blanket or something. But it's a pretty sad sight, watching your dog hop around with one leg up. So yeah, anyway, anybody know any vets in the area who are taking new clients? Spooky noises? I do not think I ever want to do that drive again. And I know, like, complaining about the traffic while also being the traffic, kind of pointless, but... 'Twas not me who made these decisions, who put these interstate highways directly through the center of a major city. Like a dumb, stupid idiot. That wasn't me. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was thankful that they took us. I mean, I guess if the vets... Listen, everybody deserves time off for lunch, but if all the vets all at once in the office can take a lunch break for an hour in the middle of the day, I guess they might have had some open time. Yeah, it's just that it's just the sort of thing that happens. You get a dog, your dog, or land on it wrong, just gets like split. And there's like they got more serious nails than we do. There's like a nerve in there. So yeah, that was that. Juno's fine. She's gonna have some... Well, I mean, aside from the pain medication she's on, I was about to say she's gonna have some extra energy not going on walks, but maybe not. Maybe she'll be a little bit drowsy and sleepy. Indeed. So we're doing a little mini subathon today to make up for that vet bill. Ah. Does Juno mind getting nails trimmed? I mean, she does. She hates it. The girlfriend helps me with that. She doesn't like getting picked up, but that's the only way I could get her to do it, is to pick her up. And then the girlfriend trims or dremels her nails. But she doesn't like really struggle. She just turns into the density of a neutron star and like is just annoying about it. I don't know that... Is there any dog that is, like, nonplussed by getting their nails trimmed? I don't think so. I think that's a major deal for them. Hmm. Yeah, the cats... The cats don't seem to care when the girlfriend does it. Just because she does it really quick. I mean, they don't... Like, if they know it's coming, they'll try to run away, but they once it's there, she takes care of it pretty easy. Niblet hates getting blown out and brushed out with the blow dryer. Whoop, don't go this way, it's a little bit of a cliff. Skeletons and spoiders, oh my. Indeed, and then today I load up the stream, try to play Minecraft, and the Minecraft launcher gets stuck in an update loop. Restart the computer, same problem, had to re-download it and like reinstall it. I guess it got corrupted or something. My webcam wouldn't work, and then suddenly it did work. Everything's coming up, Millhouse. What is this? What is this move? Hold on. How is that comfortable? Real bumpus. Adorable. If only I had some sort of comfortable bed that I brought upstairs and laid down on the floor for her. Pigs! Indeed. So yes, it was a rare occasion where I needed to quote unquote commute. I don't understand why anybody would tolerate doing such things as these. Seattle is building like a light rail. Goose, have you heard of this, Goose?
Oh, is that weird to say?
Thank you for 13 lucky months in the subtub. Seattle's building out their light rail. It used to kind of just go from the airport to the downtown area, but now, I mean, of course, first they have it going up north. But now they're expanding it down south. Up north is, if you can imagine, where the more rich, expensive towns and neighborhoods are. And down south by us is not that, so... The same thing with the express lanes on the highway. The express lanes only go to the north suburbs. And then they only switch directions to accommodate rush hours coming from there and going to there. Not to the south. Cares about those jerks down there. It is not a monorail. It's like an electric light rail. I don't know anything about public transit and theory or whatever, but I don't feel like a light rail. Like, I feel like light rail should be like taking the place of, say, like local in the city buses and stuff like that. But this one they have like, they're gonna have it going like 60 miles north and south. I don't think that's gonna solve anything, guys. I don't think that's the purpose. I mean, it's better than nothing, but it definitely feels like a half effort that is only going to further diminish public perception of public transport. Yeah, I mean, there is one, like...
Where are you from?
In the cities.
That's,
Zalasur.
a great question.
Thank you very much for 10 months in the subtub. That's almost more of like a trolley situation, right? Like the light rails that run on the streets. This is like a combo of that, almost. I don't know. I don't understand it. But yeah, it's going to... I need beds. I need beds? I need beds. Oh, that is a bed, not a boat. Ah! I don't know. So yeah, I mean, not that it's going to affect my life too much, but yeah, it's a real problem. I feel like I said, the dumbest thing is that, I mean, and this is everywhere in the United States by design, that the interstates go through the middle of the cities, conveniently tearing down and separating the poor communities. Which here in Seattle means that, like, oh, it's an interstate, 70 miles an hour, right-hand turn, chicane, chicane. I wonder why there's always traffic. Seattle's favorite thing, Seattle area's favorite thing is having 2 interstates with like 3 lanes each merge into each other into their own 3 lanes or 4 lanes and then separate. So then everybody from this side wants to go there and everybody from this side wants to go here, and they have about 200 meters to sort it out between 4 lanes. I wonder why there's always traffic and accidents there. That's like at multiple points. That is a favorite design of the Seattle area interchange, I suppose you could call it. Like, or you could just have them not cross, maybe. It's a highway. It's supposed to go between 2 points, not 600 in distinctly different points in between. Induced demand. Did I not chop down some trees, or was I dreaming that? Also, just lanes that end without warning is a fun thing. Like, there's no arrows, there's no merge sign. It's just like maybe there's an arrow on like the road that points this way once. Kind of like in American Truck Simulator. That happens a lot in American Truck Simulator. It's like, suddenly my lane is an exit. Oh, God, I don't want to exit. Get out of here. Yeah, I think that's a common thing. As opposed to, like, Texas, where there's, like, no on-ramps. It's just like, oh, you want to get on the interstate? You're on the interstate! Ah! I hope you figured it out. You didn't need any space to merge, did you? Hey, I'm playing American Truck Sim while watching you. Watch where you're going! The lane might end at any moment. Spooky noises. Yeah, that happens a lot in Chicago, too. Where, like, yeah, the Eisenhower, like, leaving Chicago will suddenly drop 2 lanes, and then the traffic will come to a dead stop from, like, everybody going 85. Wonder why there's rear ends constantly happening there. Rear ends! Everybody's rear ends. On multiple occasions, I've nearly rear-ended someone coming out of the city. Just because it just happens without warning, and like lock up my brakes. Like, we stopped in time. Woo! Another murder avoided. I remember driving in Chicago. Traffic these days. I mean, yeah, Seattle does that when you're on the 5. Right when you're getting into the city, especially if the express lane is closed, which it often is. It goes from like 6 lanes to literally 2 as you go under the city. All the while 90? So another one is like merging. I don't know. Anyway, I appreciate and understand the efficiency of living in a city and higher housing density, but at the same time, I just want to maybe live out in the forest. Just deal with 2-lane roads from here on out. At least Chicago has trains, which are all terrible and equally a horrible experience by design. Seattle does have a train, but it only runs 4 times during the weekday. The Sounder. I remember considering that, like, to get to the airport when I lived way up north. But it was, like, the worst. Instead, you got private jets, seaplanes, helicopters. That's another thing. Like, at least in our city, there's like a couple streets that have like tried a like pedestrian and bike friendly layout, like dedicated, separate, behind a curb bike lanes, and like no left turns, no crossing traffic as a car, and kind of like the road separate from turning off into the neighborhood sort of thing. Except they're like 3 blocks in like the middle of nowhere. There's like nobody drives there or will need to ride their bikes. It's just like, we tried this out here. And then they're like, nobody likes it, nobody's using it. I guess the idea sucks. Oh no. You literally chose the 3 most random residential blocks far away from any sort of destination or commercial infrastructure or like anything. And now all you get is like the drivers complaining about how the roads are too narrow and they can't make left turns. Nobody's even using the bike lanes. Well, of course, because there's just nowhere to go. You dinguses. You dang dinguses! Get your stuff together, man. Play a little City Skyline for once, why don't you? Good times had by all. Filling with rage. Modern late stage capitalist rage. I do think that that's a very interesting, like, sci-fi trope. Sorry, water sip. Like future cities with flying cars, yet they're all still stuck in traffic. Like they're in like the sky lanes, bumper to bumper. And like, you know, Blade Runner or Back to the Future or Fifth Element, you know, those sorts of things. Even Star Wars, like on Coruscant or whatever, there's this giant planet that's one huge city. You're always stuck in traffic. But in the sky. You come up with flying planes for everybody, but you really couldn't figure out public transportation. It was the flying car lobby. They must have put the CEO as the head of the Department of Defense or something. I think like the one movie that like at least kind of imagined a different way was Minority Report. At least like in the city it was all like automated pods. But even then it was still like, this is my pod. I own this pod. I had to buy this pod from Ford or whoever. Instead of it being like a public resource. But then again, I mean, they were also putting people in jail for future crimes, so maybe they didn't have everything figured out. maybe they didn't cross all their I's and dot all their T's. Future crimes. Future man is going to find the real killers. Future man. Speaking of entertainment media, what has anybody been watching lately? We're all out of Star Treks, new Star Treks. We're all out of the Orville. There's nothing. It's a real desert of the mind. You're watching Farlands or Bust, right? Going back through the back catalog, see those episodes you missed? Getting that real early cringe Kurt J. Matt going on. Better Call Saul ended. Shows like that I just lost track of and stopped caring about. Like did what was that other one? Hacker Man. Did anything ever become of Hacker Man? What was the name of that show? Like that was the parody show on the show. In his mind. You know that one. Mr. Robot, that one, yeah. Like, I feel like I watched through a season. And I felt like there must have been another season. But again, I just stopped caring to even, like, stay informed about what that was, or I lost access to it, or whatever. They finished it. Maybe I watched the finish and it was unremarkable? I don't think I did. Must have had a lasting impact. A real message. Yeah, that was one where, like, it could have ended after the first season. But then they got, like, renewed and popular, so, like, they had to keep throwing money and storylines at it. No, I watched multiples. Like, I watched when they did the thing, and then the whole thing happened. You know that thing? the corporation fell apart and the monetary system collapsed. Like, they did the thing. And then it was like, oh no, this is much worse than I thought what we were doing. And now the company is even stronger. This corporation is even more evil and more strong. We made things worse. But I feel like there was still a cliffhanger there at the end that I didn't quite tie up. You're talking about the show, right? Yes. No, this is precognition. I'm seeing into the future. No, I don't think I did see the final season. Why, did he die or something? Spoiler alert. Because if so, I certainly didn't see that part of it. It was fairly memorable. I think the last I remember was the weird blonde bad guy. Like the cliffhanger was like, oh, that guy is also working with the Asian hacker who was played by that Law and Order actor. Like, that was the last twist I saw or something like that. Like the one from, like, the legitimate hacker terrorist group or something. I don't know. This is all very distant, very foggy memories. So yeah, probably didn't and don't care really to watch the end of that. Is it legal to drive a car in the US with the steering wheel on the wrong side? If it wasn't, we would have to arrest all of the mail workers. So yes, it's perfectly legal. You could drive a car with the steering wheel in the center of the car. It's the wrong side, the bottom. Yes, but it has to be 25 years old. No, that's incorrect. It has to be 25 years old if you're importing the car from outside the US. Specifically a car that wasn't available in the US. Like, you could take a brand new car and convert it to right-hand drive. I don't know why you would. And you could drive it around. Like, that's what a lot of, like, rural mail workers do, is they have, like, they'll probably import a car, but, like, I saw a Nissan Cube that was right-hand drive. It was just because that person was a mail worker. What is this, some sort of cube? Any domestic right-hand drive makers? I mean, the ones who make the mail trucks. Oh. In my country, it's illegal. But importing JDM cars is legal. So but you have to do the conversion? Ugh. Well, that's an unnecessary expense. Well, I mean, the new mail trucks that they are going to be making. What country is that? I mean, if it's a European country, what if you drive a car from the UK into your country? What's a jam car? It's it tastes like strawberries. A little bit different from a preserves or a jelly car. Jim? What's a Jim? Jimothy. JDM. JDM, Japanese domestic market. JDM just means a car that was made for sale in Japan. It can also be confused for, like, a lot of people will say, like, my Subaru is a JDM car. But it's not. It was made in Japan. Same thing with the Datsun, but it was made for the USDM, the US domestic market. Chile, every country drives on the right. Do they? Do they drive? Do all South America drive on the right? I feel like I should know this from GeoGuessr. British Caribbean countries, but yeah, South America. Huh. Now I know. Who's breathing in my ear? Who breathes? Who's whispering sweet nothings? Oh, dang, I gotta find somewhere to take a screenshot. I haven't been doing that. I need them tasty, tasty thumbnails. Not to be confused with Juno's broken toenails. It is safer to drive on the right side, away from the center of the road. Oh, is it? I was supposed to say. No. 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 I mean, there's a reason... I think we talked about this. There's a reason why the side of the car you drive on corresponds with the side of the road that you drive on. You're to the inside of the lane so that you can pass, so that you can see around the car in front of you. Or make a left turn and see oncoming traffic. That is something, having driven the hearse for the first time, that is something that is a little bit disconcerting. It's like not knowing your blind spots or like where to check your corners when changing lanes and stuff. Sounds unsafe then? It's you gotta pay attention. You have to concentrate on driving, like I do already, to like an annoying degree when I'm driving just a normal car. But yes, you have to be aware. I'm sure with anything you would get used to it and figure out your little tactics and your you know, ways to cope with it. I mean, otherwise, don't make any left turns if you can't see traffic coming. It'll make people behind you angry, but... Or don't pass on a 2-lane road. You might have to go slower, but better than taking a blind chance. But then again, how many people take blind chances when they're driving from the other, correct side of the car? Left-hand turns puts you on a safer side for oncoming collisions. I don't think that's a design element, but it makes you less safe for right-hand turns, and most turns are right-hand turns. You know, I don't think that's a part of the design of purposefully putting the steering wheel on the inside of the lane of your car. It would be exorbitant to change the crown to a left-hand drive. Impossible, no, but it would cost well more than the car in its entirety is worth to do that. And it might not even be possible, because then you have to think about the steering shaft. If there's something in the way, like the exhaust manifold or intake manifold or other engine components that were designed in a way to make room for the steering shaft on the other side. Also, you'd have to cut holes through the firewall. Same goes for you'd have to relocate the brake booster and the throttle cable and everything. I mean, roundabouts are easier because you only have to look in one direction to see if you're clear. Of course, in Japan, which way do roundabouts go? Got him! So yeah, it's all relative. Are there any roundabouts? And there are very many. And again, it's another thing that we Americans are like, that's a better idea and more efficient, but then we implement it in a very American wrong way. So yes, there's quite a few towns and cities have taken it upon themselves to make roundabouts. Almost there, Carlos. Almost halfway there. Roundabouts are rare in Japan? Oh, really? Huh. Color me surprised. Here's a screenshot. Here's a nice little situation. Let's get that to load. Then we'll catch the sunset behind it. We'll have Wolfie sit down. It'll be a whole photographic arrangement here. Hey, Wolfie. Hey, Wolfie. Oh, got him. Oh, there we go. Got him. But yeah, our problem is that all the roundabouts here are either like city streets that have intersections, like towns that have intersections that they just put a hump in the middle, a circle, so that it's like a very tiny roundabout at a four-way street. And that's confusing because more than one car can't be in the roundabout at a time. The other kind are kind of bigger roundabouts, but they make them fancy in a way by putting trees and a big mound of dirt and grass and foliage in the center, so you can't see the other intersections of the roundabout. So you can't tell, like people say, oh, use your turn signal to let people know which direction you're going. But that doesn't help if you can't see where the other cars entered the roundabout. So you kind of just have to, like, guess and, like, assume based on the direction the driver is kind of pointing their car that they're going to get on or off or not. And still the vast majority of Americans have problems knowing what to do the roundabout. Many people still stop even if there's no traffic. I've had people stop in the roundabout to let people in. Like, the concept of the right-of-way and yielding and doesn't make any sense. Also, we keep putting pedestrian crosswalks in the roundabouts. So not only do you have to look left to see if there's cars coming, but you also have to look right to see if there's people crossing, both when you get in the roundabout and when you leave the roundabout. I've had that a couple times where, like, going around the roundabout, you're looking left, and then you don't see the person who wants to cross, and then they get mad at you. I'm like, I'm sorry, I couldn't see you. I was watching what was happening over here. It would be a lot better if they moved the crosses further away from the roundabout itself. So that, okay, worry about the pedestrian crosswalk, then worry about the roundabout. That's nuts having pedestrians. Oh, like, I don't think there's a roundabout that doesn't. Honestly. Or have the pedestrians only cross in the direction of the roundabout. But you're never going to get pedestrians to not take the shortest path between A and B. Have they never played City Skylines? No. No, they have not. And then there's quite a few, but there's some of the multi-lane roundabouts where, depending on what lane you are, you can turn right or go straight or go left. And people mix that up all the time. They'll cut off from the inside, and then sometimes there's a dedicated right turn lane that eschews the roundabout altogether. I don't like roundabouts in the Datsun with the manual transmission, because it's always like, am I going to need second gear, or am I going to need to come to a complete stop? Hopefully we're not on a hill.
I just don't think there's anybody better. Really? You got it. You got it. Hey, thank you.
In Kandata, they're called rundabouts.
Kandata? Kandata. Rundabouts. Thank you for 37 months. iShroom in the sub. I was about to say, in Canada, they're called tokabouts. This is a traffic themed episode. Or not an episode. This is not an episode. Stream. Farlands or bust. It's been a long time since we've had a spawner, right? Careful, Wolfie. I don't need to take you to the vet, too. I gotta do an oil change on the Subaru. This last trip put me well over. I need to get some of those.
Look at us. Hey.
I gotta get
Look
some
at
of
us.
those
Look at us,
Gritux.
huh? Look at us. Say it again. Look at us.
Thank you for 58 months in the sub-tub, Gritux. A new subathon is coming along great. Gonna pay for those vet bills. How often do you change your oil? That sounds like a joke
Just
is
don't
about
think
to
there's
happen.
anybody better. Really? You got it.
Dweller Benthos.
Thank you.
Thon those subs.
I'll thon them. I'll thon them thusly. Thank you for 45 months in the sub-tub. Much appreciated. Sub-tub? It's about every 6,000 miles. The last time I did it was the beginning of December. Which honestly, I thought I did it long before then, but I guess that makes sense. But yeah, now it's a little bit more complicated because there are now 2 cars taking up the garage. I'll need to like remove one of those cars, the hearse, and put it somewhere so that I can bring the Crosstrek into the garage to change the oil. Or I was thinking, anybody have any of those ramps? Those like race ramps or whatever. I know Cone has a set to like help him get up on the ramp truck. I always like look at those and then the reviews are like, it broke when I drove on it. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. That would be convenient. Then I could just do it in the driveway. I'm sorry? Drive up on the ramps. Put it up on some chocks and then do the oil right there. Any DIY oil changers? I do, but I've never used them. Are you too afraid? Can I borrow them? Would the ramp make it not level? I mean, putting it up on a jack makes it not level. Then the front is all I do. But like the oil drain plug is in the back of the oil pan anyway, so you get most of the oil out. Fine. They look like foam. They look like foam? True, you could always jack up the rear and put it on stands, but that's... It already takes me about 9 hours to do a simple task like an oil change. I don't need to complicate it further with lifting both sides of the car. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things that I'm like, this would probably make my life easier, but then it's going to take me like 3 more years to actually buy it. Much like the power, the impact wrench and stuff. All race ramp products are solid. High density expanded foam. Yeah, well, I mean, there's some like off-brand Amazon ones. Are those are the race ramp branded race ramps like super expensive? This oil change only cost me $300. Sure glad I'm doing it myself. Cheaper than a vet visit. Alright, let's put the hidey hole here, why don't we? Dig a hole. Yeah, I'll just dig a trench. I'll dig an oil change trench. I'll have my very own personal Jiffy Lube. Up. Have a seat, will you? Alright. Pretty sure Jiffy Lube is about $20. What are you, living in 1994? $20. When has an oil change been $20? Like $90. For a full synthetic, which is what I need. I just had mine done, at least 120. Yeah, I don't remember anymore. I know Subaru cost at least $90. Maybe it was over 100. I got a tire rotation at the same time. Oh, the ramps are $120. And the oil change. I'm coming up profitable after 3 or 4 more oil changes. Yeah, with the Subaru, that wouldn't be a problem. Definitely with the Datsun, it would probably be a problem trying to get it up on ramps. Especially if I end up lowering it. Which, again, is another one of those things that I'm like, I should do this, and I'm never going to do. $120 for some tiny ramps. You know what isn't $120? The end of the Farlands or Bust stream. That's right. Thank you for tuning in. We made it happen. After all the strife and turmoil and technical difficulties, that's a theme lately. Did you watch Wreckfest for breakfast? Just uploaded a video. Had some technical difficulties there. But, yeah. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the subs. Oh, I should probably sleep. That's what I gotta do. Let's go to sleep. Juno knows. She still knows the timbre of my voice when I'm wrapping up a flob. So let's go to sleep. And she will very much be aware of that. Oh, no. She knows. Look at this, though. Sorry, you can't see because I have the picture on Juno. Was the world save file not just 43,344 or something like that? Was it not just a series of 4s and 3s earlier?
I'm Mr. Bucket. Toss your balls in my top. I'm
No,
Mr.
not
Bucket.
fives.
Out of my mouth,
Fours
I'm
and
Mr.
threes. Whatnot. Thank you very much for the 5-sub bath bomb. Biddy Cal, Ice Ellen, Big Nap, Apex getting in there. Those are some names. Back up to 400. You got to maintain the 400. It might drop at any moment now. Much appreciated. Indeed.